I studied for 3.5 years in Salzburg, Austria, and of course at that time, 17 years old, I learnt a lot of Leider, a lot of Schubert, Schumann, Wolf, and I didn't really include so many of their songs in my concerts because I tend to sing unusual repertoire or build concerts around themes such as Flower Songs by the Season and other themes that I'm better known for, and singing in Japanese and unusual things. So when Adrian suggested that we make a CD of just Schumann songs, I was extremely excited and absolutely delighted to in fact learn 2 whole new song cycles, the Elizabeth Kullmann songs that Schumann set. These poems are quite extraordinary because Elizabeth Kullmann was a very young girl when she died, aged 15, but she was a prolific poetess. And this particular song cycle really reflects the agony and angst that she went through as a young girl. She had 7 brothers and they all died. Her father died. Only her mother was still left alive, and then by the end of the song cycle she herself has intimations of her own dying and says, you know, I'm going to be drawn up to heaven, and up there my father and brothers are waiting for me. And the whole cycle is just, it is a prescient of her own death, and it's just an extraordinary piece. And then staying in that same vein, we actually decided to put on the Maria Stuart song cycle that Schumann wrote. Again, an extraordinary song cycle because she's in prison and knows that she's going to be executed, but she writes to her sister Queen Elizabeth, and she says, well, you and I never really met or had anything in common, and you know, I'm sorry that it happened this way. And it's just beautiful. He said her words very movingly. She also writes, one of the poems is to her dead son, and it's very moving. And I was delighted to do both those 2 cycles in the Schumann CD, and then of course the very well-known Frauen, Liebe und Leben, which is a tour de force and has been recorded many times before, and I haven't dared touch the repertoire because comparisons are always odious, but I thought, well, why not? And Adrian persuaded me, and we worked on it together, and it took on a life of its own. It's a very, very beautiful, moving cycle as well. And then we sort of intermingled these 3 main song cycles with other songs that I had learnt when I was in Salzburg all those years ago. Marienwürmchen, for instance, was the very first German song that I had ever learnt. And so it was great fun to do it again, this little song about the ladybird. And then some of the other ones I hadn't known before. So it was a whole mix. This whole CD was a mix of repertoire that I learnt a long time ago, and then ones that I dared to learn now. So I really enjoyed doing it.